Hello everybody, Steven here with Cardboard Coalition, and today I figured I would bring you guys a crowdfunding video. I know I don't do a whole bunch of them, but a crowdfunding video. This one, as you can see, is about DCeased, a Zombicide game from CMON. This one's gonna be a little bit long. I'm gonna try to keep it as short as I can, so I might speak a little quick. You can see me looking off to the side. I have my notes here to run through it. Hopefully, my vision of this is every one after this, each week I'll just do an update at the end of each week for that previous week, so everyone kind of has a run and go. It's gonna be 2 weeks. It's Kickstarter. Maybe I'll do a couple short ones in the week, but let's get into this. All right. So recently, CMON announced they're gonna do a DCeased Zombicide game. You can find it on Kickstarter. You can click the notify me to launch. November 14th at I think it's 3 p.m. Eastern, which if you're on the West Coast it's 12. If you're somewhere else, you have to figure it out. Eastern UPS Eastern time in the United States of America. All right, so what I want to go through is some of these dev diaries and give you guys some information that's going on. I'm popping up the picture for your guys' enjoyment, but I'm kind of running over here and just looking at my notes. So dev diary number 1 right here is kind of the announcement one. And sets up the setting for the game. So now the setting is in the DC universe. And the first thing I want to say is, even though it says right here, Zombicide, and you think zombies, it's technically a virus and they know this, but they're going to keep going with zombie. They've admitted they know it. They understand what's going on, but they're going to go with zombie because this is a Zombicide game. They act pretty much like zombies, but it's the anti-life equation, which gives you the anti-life virus. I did read DCeased, and there are several books, and I might go back to that. Several stories that you can pick up now and read, but I might get back to that. All right. So they're going to keep going with the zombie thing, though they know it's more like an infection. It's a virus. Spoilers early on. If you haven't read it, nah, forget that. I'm not giving you that spoiler. You go ahead and read it and have fun. All right. So it doesn't strictly follow the initial DCeased, right? It's going to go through some of the other books. There's DCeased, the initial one. I want to say there's 2 other books, and then recently there was DCeased War of the Dead Gods, which they admittedly said was coming out while they were wrapping up development on this. So there's probably not going to be anything, even in the Kickstarter stretch goals or anything, that talk about the War of the Dead Gods stuff. But they also want to grab from the DC world and pull just iconic things into the game. And some of the stuff is going to be where they can with licensing, what they can and what they can't do also. So there's that. So the last thing I have for Dev Diary 1 is brings iconic DC moments, imagery, and people. So you're going to get some of that iconic stuff that might not necessarily have been in DCeased, but it's there. All right, Dev Diary 2. No such thing. The main developer, I'm going to mess up his name, it's Michael Chanel, admitted to Alex Radcliffe, I believe, on Board Game Co.'s video channel, and they're doing a interview. I'd like to get to the point where we could do interviews. We have to get hundreds of thousands of more followers, but yeah, whatever. Anyways, he admitted that it was just a mess up in the numbers. There's no secret there or anything. So there is no Dev Diary 2. So Dev Diary 3, right, as you see there, it says load up. This is weapons. Here's what I got from Dev Diary 3, right? There are going to be equipment cards. If you played Marvel Zombies, you knew there were no equipment cards, which some people were frustrated with. But if you played any other Zombicide, I think all of them have equipment cards except for zombies, right? But there are equipment cards in this one. They're also not common weapons. They're showing you some of them up here. You got some LexCorp stuff, right? So it's LexCorp. And the big thing about this is it's LexCorp weapons designed to deal with superheroes. I might say soups a lot in this. It's just short for superheroes. But you also have Hawkman's axe right there made out of nth metal. If you don't know, don't worry about it. It's just a really strong metal. And then you got Aquaman's trident, right? You have those kind of things. The other thing, it doesn't have it specifically here. They're going to be scattered throughout the map, and you'll find them kind of laying around the map. Not your traditional way in Zombicide of finding equipment. All right, on to Dev Diary 4. right? Dev Diary 4, what we're getting into are bystanders. And now I'm really regretting not putting everybody's name down because I don't remember Bibo Babowski, this guy's name. Don't really remember. But obviously you have Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen there. But they're going to have a lot of bystanders that you can interact with. Now, here's the thing with bystanders. It's Metropolis. The core box, the core game, the main game takes place in Metropolis. So you're going to have iconic Metropolis characters, so iconic Superman characters. They're not necessarily going to keep just with the comic books. They said that in the first live stream CMON did, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But you're going to have some iconic Metropolis characters. It's the heroes are going to get negative effects when bystanders get eaten, right? There's going to be negative effects. That happens in the Marvel one, if you guys have played that one. All right. The bystanders' actual miniatures will follow the heroes around on the board now, so they can interact with zombies and stuff like that. They can have little groups running around with them. No limit to bystanders per hero. So I know I keep going back to the Marvel one, this might be considered in bad taste because it's a whole different company, but this is what we know as Zombicide fans, or maybe someone who's interested. There is no limit to the bystanders a hero can have. It's not just one hero. They can have multiple heroes. Or multiple, not multiple heroes, multiple bystanders running around with them. They can have a whole party, right? And the bystanders obviously will grant special effects, right? This is something from the previous superhero Zombicide game. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We have Dev Diary 5. This is talking about using, well, it says using what you have, but this is your interactable objects that you can interact with. Right, you can pick them up, you can carry them, you can use them as weapons, and you can combine them. If you want to read this Dev Diary on your own, you can, but it talks something about a trash canister. No, the big trash bucket thing. So I can't think. Always when I'm on video, I can't think of things right. Dumpster, the big dumpster. You can combine the dumpster with a light post, right? Swing at the dumpster, a light post bumps up your hits, dumpster rolls over almost everybody, right? That kind of stuff. So the things that they had mentioned are the dumpster, the light post, the phone booth, and the Daily Planet Globe, which in the live stream they talked about once you roll it down the street, it's just going to keep going and smash zombies or zombie hordes, which is everything but the super zombies, right? And all these objects are typically going to be one use, right? I'm assuming the globe is going to be like the other superhero game where it was a big A sign for one of the buildings. I don't know, I'm being coy now. In the Marvel Zombies, the Avenger Tower sign, you could throw it once and it breaks down. You can throw it again, so you had two uses. I'm assuming the globe's going to be something like that. All right, so typically one use, got all that stuff. Moving on for your guys' delight. Now, I apologize to the CMON team, like they're going to watch this, but was it Helena, Michael, and his name I can never say properly, and it's covered by that. I'll try to say it later. If I got you guys in a bad pose in these screenshots, I'm not a computer whiz. I am not obviously a YouTube whiz, or I'd have 1 million followers, right? But I wanted to grab some of these pictures so we can talk about some of this stuff. So the heroes that you're going to have here, right? Heroes and gameplay style. But first, before we talk about the heroes and the gameplay style, let's bring up one thing. I meant to do it earlier. There is no zombie mode, so you're not going to be able to play as the zombie heroes. At least that's what they've said, and they're always very open to people homebrewing their own stuff, and there's lots of Facebook and Reddit groups you can follow where they homebrew their own stuff. But they're saying there is no zombie mode because it's an anti-life equation or virus. You retain a little, the supers are going to retain a little bit of their power, but their main instinct is just to destroy and cause damage and spread the virus, right? So there will be no zombie mode where you play as the zombie superheroes, right? All right, so get into this superheroes and their gameplay style. I'm going to try to break this video down. It's about an hour video. You can watch it if you want. I'm going to try to break it down as quick as I can here. All right, so here are the characters, not in the order they give. we are going to have 9 characters, right? These 9 characters will be Batman. Playstyle would be support, leader role. Then you have Wonder Woman, big hitter, big threats. You have, see, Wonder Woman's down here. Batman is right there. Wonder Woman. You have the Flash. He is supposed to have high mobility, can get in and out of places, move around. If you've played older Zombicide, I'm assuming it's going to have like slippery built into him where you can kind of slide through zombie hordes and stuff like that. Who else do we have? We have Hawkwoman. I really should have done this in order. Hawkwoman, she's your melee powerhouse. So she's one of the big powerhouse players. You have Green Arrow. Where is he? Green Arrow is right here. He is going to be your cover fire. They had said cover fire and helps boost melees and stuff. Not really sure how that's going to work out. Cyborg is blast. He's going to have a lot of big shots, I'm assuming, and mobility. Then we have right here, which
introduces to them.
I didn't mean to do that, but if you haven't read the Zombicide or the DCeased stuff, Black Canary becomes Green Canary. She gets Green Lantern's ring. Quick spoiler, you're going to find this out really quick. Green Lantern in the story dies fairly quickly. With that said, know that they don't necessarily also follow the story specifically. It's just that world. Batman becomes a zombie really early on. Superman doesn't. They change some of those things up. But remember, as I told you, with the first Dev Diary, they're not following specifically the DCeased stories, just the general feel for them, the world, and all that kind of stuff. All right, and then our last one, which always makes me laugh as a hero, and he does play a hero sometimes, is Lex Luthor in his big power suit. And Lex Luthor is a range support. I realized I didn't do Green / Black Canary. They had said mobility and versatility. Jack of all trades and can move around a lot. She sounds kind of interesting to me. And then back to Lex Luthor. He's your range support person. All right, next we have the zombie soups, the zombie superheroes. So you have 6 characters, and they have unique abilities, and they were designed or put in there to be complementary in a lot of ways to the heroes that we have. So in here we have Green Lantern. They had said he's a heavy hitter. We have Martian Manhunter. They didn't say much about Martian Manhunter. Interesting. He is a shapeshifter, so decide. You can try to read those little cards. I didn't get that deep in. I have other things to do. Then we have Catwoman down here. They have her down as they had mentioned she likes shiny equipment, so she's going to go after your equipment cards. Aquaman, he is Aquaman, but he also comes with the Kraken, right? So he brings the Kraken with him. Then you have Hawkman right here. Where's my Hawkman? Oh, that was the thing with Hawkman. He kind of swoops down. They're talking about how he swoops down and attacks you. I'm picturing him like picking you up. It'd be kind of cool if he picks you up and drops you squares later, or drops you into zombies or something crazy like that. That would be fun. And then Superman. They just said Superman is Superman. He's a powerhouse. So there's Superman. All right. Our next thing right here, we have the Hordes. Right? So the Horde zombies and their cards. Let's get into this and what we have. So the Horde zombies are going to be LexCorp security. You are going to have your brutes in power suits, which you have up here. You have your runners, which are specialists. I think they had said something about shock sticks. It looks like he might have some kind of shock stick there, but they just said they're more specialist. Then you have your normal security guards, which are your walkers down there. Now, in the deck, it's not going to just be your normal deck. They keep bumping the deck up, adjusting it with each version of Zombicide they do. They have special attacks and effects, and special effects for zombie heroes. They're talking about here you have anti-life pulse instead of just the superhero zombie popping up. You have anti-life pulse right there. But they did mention things like charging slam for brutes. There's cards that'll come out that are charging slam. And then the other one was aggressive assault for the runners. This is, I think, instead of one extra activation per, as you got with the last one with Marvel, you had one extra activation per. I think that started in 2nd edition. All right, bystanders. Helena talked about how this is her favorite part of it. So the bystanders, we've had bystanders before, but here are some changes that I picked up with the bystanders. Oh, we already talked about in the dev diary, so I'm not going to talk about that here. But there are 8 bystanders, right? 8 magic hands, 8 bystanders. And I wrote down Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, and Martha Kent. Those are the names they brought up. They also brought up the Bibowski. They brought up Lex Luthor's personal security guard, and then they were talking about how there are also some people that are from, I think, like one of the TV shows that I didn't watch. So they are pulling from the DC universe as a whole, as I said earlier, to get everyone kind of excited. All right, tiles. So there are 9 tiles. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there connected to locations. This is going to be specifically Metropolis. So this is the point where I'm going to bring up. They bring up Metropolis a lot. Metropolis in the core box. Metropolis in the core box. Metropolis in the core box. And as you know, with CMON stuff, they're going to have more tiles and different spaces. So we might see another world. Maybe we all have our fingers crossed for the Gotham one, right? I know I do. That's my hero from DC. I really like his Batman. So you might have some Gotham stuff, maybe some Justice League Dark with Constantine and Zatanna, things like that. But there are a lot of Easter eggs in the tiles as usual. You got this with the Marvel one, lots and lots of Easter eggs, which makes it fun. All right, here's some finishing up things to talk about. And there's one more thing I want to talk about, but a couple finishing up things is there's no 2-wave shipping. You're not going to get the core set and then get everything else later. 1-wave shipping. And they also announced that they're going to do, I want to read it, so I got it how they said it, a direct-to-retail streamlined core box. So instead of doing 2-wave shipping, kind of like the Marvel Zombies, you're going to get one of these bad boys. You can get one of these bad boys, which is a shrunk down version. I don't know if you guys can see it. We don't know exactly how much it's going to match this. There's going to be less tiles. It's designed to be 4 players. You're going to have some different scenarios and stuff. You'll have alternate sculpts for your heroes and your zombies. And then this one, the regular like walker zombies and stuff like that were standees. And it all fits in a nice, neat box. And you'll get it before the main game comes out to allow you to play it, right? Some of the things they did bring up about this direct to retail instead of 2-wave shipping, they wanted the price to be around what it would cost extra for that extra wave of shipping, which is around $30. I think that was $34.99, $35 when it first came out. I'm assuming the next one will be $35 to $39. Say maybe a little inflation in there. So $35 to $40. They did say there are different things in the box, but not exclusive, which is a little weird, kind of back and forth. Alt versions of the characters, that all the sculpts in there are unique sculpts for that game, but they're also characters that you can find in the game. In the main Zombicide, right? Not the main Zombicide, not the core box Zombicide, but if you had all the extra stuff, you can find a lot of that stuff in there. They did point out there's going to be unique scenarios because that is designed for 4 people. And it is actually quite fun to just bust it out, play, and put it away. It is really quick. All right, so the last couple things, always across there, I can't show you. There is no Garden Gnome miniature, which was in the Marvel one. There's a Galactus miniature, which I think I'm doing it small from here, at least from, low ribcage, top of my head. I'm looking at it right there. It's bigger than that. There's not going to be one of those. I think it was CMON Expo Thailand that they had the Superman miniature blown up with his arm off and stuff like that, which caused speculation. But they said they are not going to do a Garden Gnome size miniature, so a Galactus size miniature for this one. And then last but not least that they talked about, and I think I got everything, but this is just everything I could grab. Sorry down here, I just didn't grab your name, man. Some people in the comments might yell at me. That's fine. That's fine. All right. So one of the last things they said is there's going to be a crossover pack for the Dark Knights Metal, and this was set up for 2nd edition, and it has to do with alternate universe, alternate reality Batman, evil Batmans, right? And so you'll get the cards and you'll get all that stuff so you can play them. And what it looks like from here is you can play them as heroes. There's going to be an alternate Batman card. But so you can play them as heroes or as the monster, like we'll just say superheroes, zombie superheroes, but they're more just like monsters, right? So you are going to get that, right? So that wraps it up. I knew I was going to do it. I knew I was going to do it, guys. Let's see if I can throw it back. I had it where it looked cool. All right. There we go. We can make it look cool for the video. I think I can. All right, I gotta do this quick. All right, so that's everything so far that I've gathered. There's lots of videos. The Dice Tower has a playthrough and stuff like that you guys can check out. But the DCeased, a Zombicide game, you silly thing. All right, DCeased, a Zombicide game, coming to Kickstarter on November 14th at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'll try to remember to put a link to the Kickstarter so you can like it and love it. This right here, I'll try to make sure I put a link in for that one. But CMON, we're not talking about other things. We're talking about this. All right, so that's it. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as you can. I try to get through it quick. I'm going to try to do more as information drops, probably dev diaries or in the Kickstarter as things pop up. Bad CMON, as things pop up, maybe throw some videos up for you guys to follow the campaign. I'm excited. I should have done this with Marvel Zombies. I didn't. Should have done it with the Western one. I didn't. I'm going to try to do it now. Let's see how it works. Help us grow the coalition by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell notification, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right. I will see you all later. If I could stop recording. If I could stop recording.